for a lot of people. Maybe you yourself have dealt with seasonal depression. I want to talk a little bit about what are some of the things that you can do and put into place right now. I want to really encourage you to come from the place of a passive patient and become a proactive health CEO over your own health. Okay. So seasonal depression is very real. We are 2 days away as of the day of this recording from the 1st of November, and I believe that this weekend is when the time will change. And you will see more people are going to be inside because it's going to be colder. But also, for whatever reason, in the winter months, people put on a little bit more weight, and so they kind of hide for the winter months. But it also comes with another handful of depression that maybe you right now, if you're suffering with that, or you see someone kind of going down that path, maybe you can educate them on this specific message that I'm going to share with you. I want to specifically talk about vitamin D3. It really makes me cringe a lot of times. It really kind of bothers me when I hear people talk about vitamin D3 as it relates to taking it as a supplement. Vitamin D3 is called vitamin D3, but it's actually a hormone, and it's a fat soluble hormone. Vitamin A, D, E, and K are fat soluble hormones, and those vitamins, in the case of vitamin D, if taken in too much of a consumption, can become toxic. It's not likely, but it can be. And the first thing I want to encourage you to do before it gets too late into the winter months is just go get your labs done and get tested. I believe that if you go to a place like Quest Diagnostic, you can do an a la carte menu and you can select vitamin D and get it checked so you'll know exactly where you're starting. Most people, most people, unfortunately, their vitamin D is extremely low and it can mimic a lot of things. There are some people who are on psychotropic drugs, but it's actually their vitamin D is low. A lot of people walk around in pain, muscle aches, pain, low immunity, immune systems is compromised. They have a lot of colds, flu, pneumonia. If you're a person who every year you're catching the flu, pneumonia, God forbid, COVID, um, or the C word. If you're one of those people who are catching those types of issues every year, multiple times a year, you want to consider whether or not your immune system is suppressed for whatever reason. Being overweight can suppress your immune system. Being deficient in vitamins and minerals can suppress your immune system. But it's a lot of factors that can come into play. But if you're catching colds, sinus infections, and all these types of things every year, multiple times a year, somebody just touch you, you get sick, go get checked. Just go get your vitamin D checked. It's easy to do. It's not a big deal, but you just want to know where you're starting from. I'm not going to give recommended dosages or anything like that because I think that's something that's going to be need to be taught through and specific to each individual person. So, like I said, low vitamin D3 can mimic depression, fatigue, immune system suppression, and insulin resistance. And for the darker months, like I said, it's called seasonal affective disorder. And this is when those who spend most of their time indoors, the production of vitamin D3 plummets. If you already started with low vitamin D3, well, this is going to make it worse. So if you still can't get outside and walk, I don't typically like to, I understand the importance of sunshine, but I'm not going to go outside and walk at the hottest part of the day. And typically, if I go out and walk, I'm covered. I do not have my skin exposed or as minimal of it as possible. I don't have my body parts exposed when I'm outside. I just don't like to have to put on a whole lot of sunscreen. I keep my legs covered, my arms are covered. I typically wear a big sun hat. If I'm wearing makeup, my makeup has sunscreen in it. If I'm not wearing makeup, I actually put on a sunscreen on top of my skin. And so I'm not a fan of going out when the sun is up and booming. My typically when I go out and outside and walk, I mean the sun is not really out. That's more comfortable for me, and that's just my thing. You do what you need to do to, you figure out what you need to do. But here's some other points about the vitamin D3. I'm going to just check my notes. Um, the part that I said that really bothers me when people talk about vitamin D3 and make that recommendation, most people just tell people to take vitamin D3, and that is so dangerous. The reason why vitamin D3 increases calcium absorption, and where you do not want calcium is in your arteries. The reason why you want to take vitamin D3 and K2 together, the K2 is going to help deposit the calcium where it needs to be deposited, and it's not in your arteries. You do not want calcium to be pulled into your arteries, but if you are just taking vitamin D3 alone without K2, you are running the risk of calcifying your arteries. Okay, and people always recommend take vitamin D, take vitamin D. You need to take vitamin D with K2. And you think of vitamin, well, you think of K2 as like a traffic controller. It sends calcium to the right places, your bones and your teeth, while keeping it out of your arteries. And another thing I want to touch on, I'm not going to get into that too much in this video, is people who take a lot of multivitamins that have calcium in it. You really, really need to be careful about iron and calcium are two minerals, if you will, that can be very dangerous if you're taking them in abundance and you really don't know whether or not you actually need it. Calcium is something that you really should consider just getting it from your food and not supplementing with it. And iron is another one. And so I'm not going to get into that in this video, but I just want you to take that in consideration. A lot of people are taking multivitamins and things of that nature that has this abundant of calcium, and it's no way to know how much of it that you're actually getting, or you're taking an iron supplement and you don't know whether or not you actually need it. So please go get tested, and don't start taking things like excess calcium and iron. Try to get those things from your food. Okay, so here's the thing about testing. Like I said, go get tested, know where your numbers are and where you stand. And then also, I want to encourage you to make sure, if you're going to take a vitamin D3 or K2 supplement, make sure that you're buying quality supplements. I know sometimes we kind of have to get in where we fit in about what we can afford at the particular time and season that we're in. But if you're buying your supplements from Walmart or maybe CVS or Walgreens or even the Dollar Tree or Dollar General, I would encourage you to start looking for better sources of supplementation. And here's what I'm going to recommend, or what I would encourage you to do. Start looking for supplements that are third party tested. And the reason why you want to do that is because um, many supplements that's on the market are not third party tested. And so you really don't know how much or how little of something that you're actually receiving. Okay, so some of these supplements has a lot of fillers, a lot of contaminants, and the your dosing can be inconsistent. And so you want purity and quality if you can get it. And I know we have to start where we are and we have to look at our finances, and that's great. But maybe one supplement, the next time it's time for you to refill that supplement, research some other companies that are third party tested. I'm gonna give you some suggestions here that are third party tested. So you want to make sure you start getting the quality. Unfortunately, we cannot rely on the food sources that we have today because unfortunately our food is not of good quality either. So I will supplement probably until the day I die because I know that I'm not actually getting the quality of food that I need, whether you buy it organic or not. And then it also comes down to absorption, or is your body absorbing the minerals and nutrients from your food? And also the same thing with supplementation. Is your body absorbing the minerals? So it really comes down not to so much about what you're taking, it's actually making sure that your body can actually absorb what you're taking. So here's some of the things that you want to look for. You want to ensure that your product has been verified by independent labs for potency, purity, and safety. You want to determine whether or not it confirms no heavy metals, mold, or hidden fillers, and it's a guaranteed accurate dosage. Especially important with fat soluble vitamins like vitamin D3. The fat soluble vitamins, like I said, A, D, and K is concerning if you actually get a toxic load of that. And then you want to look for seals that says NSF certified, USP verified, or consumer lab approved. Now, I don't want to tell you what supplements you should buy or what supplements you should purchase. I want you to do your own research and figure out what is actually in your budget. But if you are buying, like I said, your supplements from Walmart or CVS and, you know, maybe Walgreens or something like that, I would just encourage you one by one start exchanging some of your supplements out for third party tested supplementation so you can make sure that you're actually getting a more quality product. I want to share this with you because I know so many people right now are going through different emotions, whether it is the seasonal affective disorder or whether or not it's maybe because of the time of year you're experiencing um, grief because it's the holidays. Maybe you're going to be alone. Maybe it's a season where you've had a lot of just pain and turmoil that's going on right now in your life. It's it's something that is common, but it's something that you can get ahead of. If you know that you face this every year, be honest with yourself and do what it takes so you can be whole. I understand grief and I understand loss and I understand that it's my responsibility to do whatever I can to pull myself out of that situation. So at the very least, what you can do is just go get your vitamin 3 levels tested and make sure that you're actually taking a quality supplementation. And then if you at very least 30 minutes a day, just try to get outside and walk when the sun is up and don't expose yourself so much to the sun. I say cover yourself up. Like I said, when I go outside and walk, I'm covered. I don't walk with my arms exposed or my legs exposed. I'm covered. Okay. And so just make sure you do just some small, simple things that can help really improve your mood. I see so many people that are on psychotropic medications for depression, and some people actually need that. But what if it is something just as simple as a vitamin or a mineral that you can add that can change your life and you can come off any prescription drugs and live a well balanced life just by supplementation? It does happen, it does work. And with the cold and flu season coming up and whatever else this world will throw at us, you just want to make sure you have a very robust immune system. So I hope that this video blesses you. I want to encourage you, if you have questions about your what vitamin D is, if you have more in-depth questions about what vitamin D is, what you should do about your specific situation, make sure you leave me a comment below and I'll be happy to respond. Until next time, take care and be blessed.